Hey everyone, and today we're doing a little bit of a different review, mainly because I didn't think I was actually going to pick up this figure at all. This is the Mezco Toys 1/12 Collective, the Joker Gotham by Gaslight edition. Gotham by Gaslight is a Elseworld story where Batman and all of his allies and foes take place in Victorian England times. And the Joker actually wasn't in that original story, but Mezco has taken the Joker and put him into the story, and there is a Batman coming out later, but for some reason the Joker came out first. I don't have that many Joker figures in my collection at all, so that is kind of where my intrigue came from for this character and this specific Mezco. So let's just get into it. And the box, they're using that smaller box, it looks like. Again, no real picture of the figure at all, it's just a nice black box. 1/12 Collective on the top. Joker all over. Nice little old-timey font. Let's get into it. Okay, and first impressions, just from the plastic tray, it looks like he comes with quite a bit. I've seen photos of this guy, but I actually haven't watched a review yet. Kind of wanted to keep this as a little surprise for myself. The first thing I notice is how terrifying that head sculpt is. Now, I have taken the actual figure out, but nothing else. And the head sculpt is, honest to God, one of the scariest things I think I've seen in a while. So let's get a closer look at that right now. Alright, and yeah, as you can see, this is pretty incredible. Mezco's head sculpt job has gotten so much better, especially in the eyes. I think they look alive, they look real, they have the wet paint on the eyes, so they're definitely learning from other third-party companies at this point. The body itself, he's in this nice purple duster, because obviously it's the Joker. He's got the fat 1900s tie, he's got the suspenders, old-timey pants, even some weathering down here at the bottom. His shoes have a little bit of weathering to them as well, a little bit of mud at the bottom. Yeah, first impressions on this guy, he looks pretty terrifying, and I don't think I would know that it was the Joker if you just showed this to me without the title and knowing it when I bought it. I guess I would be able to tell because of the green hair and the white face, but he does just look like a very creepy character. So that's pretty cool. I've heard that some people have had some issues with their jacket. There's been a lot of white, a lot of this weathering white stuff all over the jacket. Mine seems to be where it's supposed to be, but I know that some people have had it all over and it's been a little distracting. That being said, mine seems to be okay. Yeah, this is pretty disturbing. And these buttons do actually button. Trying to get this last one. So again, getting a look at that head sculpt, and it's really good. The teeth especially look really great for a Mezco. And I know Mezco has had issues with this before, and it is the Joker, so if they do make it creepy, that's on purpose. But it just looks the part, I guess. A little bit of a paint rub on the nose, maybe that can be scraped off. But overall, pretty great. And getting to this face sculpt, again, there's a little bit of paint transfer on the tip of the nose, which is a bit strange. This one I don't think looks as good. I think just the really purple eyes kind of mess this up a little bit for me. It's still a good sculpt. Like, I like the detail on it and all the especially in the hair and the forehead wrinkles like that. It just doesn't threaten me as much as the other one did. He looks a little bit too handsome maybe to be the Joker, but that is my opinion. And my opinion is not always right. Now, to make this a little bit more old-timey England, he comes with a nice top hat, which definitely adds to the aesthetic, almost Mad Hattery, but I think this improves this head sculpt a lot more. He also comes with these glasses, these circular glasses. He's got the... Yes, and this, again, I think these two accessories right here make this head sculpt look so much better. He kind of blends into disguise. He's still creepy. I think he's honestly creepier when you can't see his eyes and you just see this pale white face with this dark green hair. So I really do enjoy that. Let's start with his hands, and he is packaged with these bloody fists. with some scarring in the hand. That is pretty intense. I've never actually seen that before on an action figure, so that's pretty cool. And it looks like there's only scarring on his left hand, not his right. But the blood effect, the blood paint detail looks really great. Kind of have him in a fisticuffs. There you go. Ready for a brawl. I think if Mezco made a Sherlock Holmes figure, I mean, they've proven here that they can do it, so I would love if they did do that. But let's get on to his other hands. Alright, so his next pair of hands, he has a left grabbing hand that can kind of move its fingers, so we'll get to that in a sec. And he comes with a right grabbing hand with its fingers and thumb closed. Now, this left grabbing hand, I believe, can be used with his briefcase that he comes with. And if you open it up, you can see that there's parts for all the weapons that we'll get to later. But for now, you can get him to hold this in a very natural way. The sculpt on this is pretty good. I think I had a bit of an issue here where the pinky disconnected from the rest of the fingers. Kind of see it in there, but overall, I do really like how that looks. And the paint detail on this, you know, it looks like there's some scuffs, there's some dirt. It looks like the leather on it's kind of seen better days, I guess you'd say. But I do like how he holds it and how it's kind of natural. What I didn't like, however, was getting this into the hand. The handle is made out of a soft rubbery plastic, just like the fingers, which means it was kind of basically dealing with noodles there. So that wasn't that great. But I do quite like how that looks. His next pair of hands are more grabbing hands, but these ones are used, these ones can hold his specific instruments. I like the poses again, the gestures on these are really nice, and the blood detail on all of these is really cool. I'm never gonna get over this creepy design on the top of the hand. But we'll get to these hands again later when we get to his many tools, his arsenal of evil tools. And his next pair of hands are these really beautiful, dynamic, open, splayed out hands. Again, these are really creepy just because of the blood that is kind of sprayed on it. And it is sprayed, like it looks like it was airbrush, but also if this was real life, it looks like he just hacked into someone and the blood sprayed out from wherever he hit them or cut them. So I do love these. This is pretty great. And he comes with 3 left hands now. So starting with this left hand, and it looks like a fancy pinky out hand, and he can hold something, which we'll get to. It looks like he could hold like a nice cup of tea or something. He doesn't come with that, unfortunately, but maybe if you have a cup of tea or a coffee mug sitting around somewhere, this would look pretty good with that. Pinky's out. Always remember, pinky's out. And his next left hand looks like to be a strangling hand. Maybe I can get another figure up here and show that off a little bit better. But definitely just as terrifying. I love the tan detail. You could see the muscles kind of tensing up. Like that's how strong his hand is working. All the muscles are fired up there. So it's just pretty crazy to see how far Mezco will go with this stuff. Maybe you can be choking out Megatron right here. And the last left hand and the last hand altogether that he comes with is this pointing hand. And there is something so menacing about this man pointing at you. I don't want to think about it much longer than I have to. But if he's pointing at you, letting you know that you're next, or he's pointing at you, telling everyone to go chase you, follow you, yeah, pretty terrifying. His other accessories in the top tray include these 3 playing cards. Here's the back of all the cards. Kinda hard to see. Print on that is really small, but I can vaguely get out a Joker face in the middle of that. And this card has a bat on it, for obvious reasons. This card has a heart on it, I believe. Let's see what it looks like upside down. No, I'm pretty sure that's a heart. Right? If I'm wrong about this, that's going to be so disappointing. If you know what it is, let me know. And here's what I would assume is the Joker card, but it's a little hard to tell. Looks like the devil in a certain position. Interesting. Here are those 3 cards again, and please let me know what you think these are. If I don't know, they are interesting. I guess you could have him hold it like this. There's probably a better hand in here. Hold up. Oh, duh. For obvious reasons. There you go. He's picking up that card in the most fancy way possible. Pinky's out. This is pretty cool. I'm kind of just having fun with this. That looks great. That looks really good. We're not done with the top tray just yet. He comes with these 2 accessories of clothing, these 2 garments. I believe one is a scarf and the other is butcher's, what's it called? Apron? A butcher's apron? Anyway, here's the scarf. It's nothing special. It's just a long strip of fabric. I really actually don't like how this looks. Let me take the jacket off and see if I can make this look better. Because you can take the jacket off because it is a Mezco figure, which means that they have a dress shirt underneath. Cool. And then I imagine once you put this on, you can put the jacket back on and it'll look better. It's at least easier to get on. The dress shirt looks really nice as well. I've tried to sew a dress shirt before. It's not easy, so I'm pretty impressed with this. Now, if he is from England, there is a certain way to do an English scarf. And that's why it is so long, if you didn't know. So let's see if I can do that here. You turn it around, and then you put it through the top again. Something like that. But not terrible. Hold up. I believe that's how you're supposed to do it. My uncle's from England, so that's really the only reason I know that. And that actually doesn't look too bad once it's all folded up, but I do think that this is not lazy, but not as impressive, I guess, as they might have thought. But this part up here does look pretty good. Did a pretty good job with that, huh? And I'm just going to leave it like that, so I can just stretch it across his head or take his head off and put his head back on with it. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. And this butcher's apron, I'm just going to go for it. Butcher's apron. Very nice. Ugh, okay. Yeah, it's not pleather, but it looks like a leather material. It's got some blood splatters on there. Not sure how they applied that. I don't know how you quality control that at least, but seems easy enough. You put it around his waist, his arms up, go around the back and tie a knot. And if you don't know how to tie a knot, this is the perfect time to learn. I guess you don't actually have to tie a knot. You could just tie it tight like that. I don't know why they made the leather straps so long. Yeah, but it does look good. It does fit the figure well. So I kind of wish there was more blood, and obviously you can add your own. Just dye some water red and paint it on, or get a spritzer or whatever. Let's get to his weapons though, shall we? Because here is the second tray. It comes with a support arm, the Mezco base, which is big with the giant Joker logo on it. It comes with the Mezco baggie where you can put all the accessories in over here. And it comes with all of these weapons. Terrifying stuff. Let's get into them. Alright, so I don't know my weapons at all. So forgive me for when I name these things incorrectly. I'll start with the ones that I think I know. Here is just a very basic looking knife, or a pocket knife, or something like that. There's some blood detail on it, although the blood kind of looks orange, so it looks a bit like rust to me, but I think it's supposed to be blood. Here's that groovy handle. I guess you could put it in this card holding hand because the handle is so small, so it's not really going to fit into this right holding hand. And that's kind of goofy, right? Like, he's being very delicate with this murderous work, so he is the Joker after all. Here's a much bigger knife, and I can confidently say this is a knife. There's a blood detail again. It's not as good as the blood detail on the other parts of the figure, but it's there. And this handle is much bigger, so it will fit into that right holding hand a lot better. Here's what looks like to be a handheld saw. Yep, there's the grooves right there. There's ha-ha-ha's engraved in there. That's pretty cool. I quite like that. Oh, it's on both sides. What a maniac. I kind of like the, the art direction they took with these weapons. Like, they're going to be old-timey, but still pretty usable. And again, that can go in that right holding hand. I'm not sure if Joker's right-handed or left-handed. I assume he's ambidextrous, but who knows. Sticking with the sharp weapons, and this looks like a shiv, or just a really long, sharp knife. I guess that's what a shiv is. Yeah, same deal as before. You can go into that right hand. It can also go into this left hand, which looks a little bit more menacing to me. Like, the other one's gripped, but this one kind of looks dainty. So there is that. This is you know what? I don't know. It's a hook. I believe it like belongs to butchers or something like that. Something to, dig into the meat and tear it apart easily. Shreds it apart. I'm not so sure. And it fits in this not very well. So I think that left hand we were showing off before holds this quite a bit better. There you go. Here's a curved blade. Please, in the comments, let me know what this is. I mean, it's a knife to me, but it's obviously more than that. Again, it can go in both hands. And I'm really liking this left hand. Just the way the Joker can hold this looks a bit more relaxed. Here's what looks like to me, like an axe. That's an axe to me, but it probably has a more specific name. This handle is really thick, so I think it definitely is supposed to go into this right hand. I mean, it can go in this, but it just doesn't look as right to me. But let me know what you think about that. And the last weapon in here has to be my favorite, and it is this, what I would imagine can screw out some eyes. And this specific hand, with the gap in between the two fingers in the center, is supposed to hold it right there, right? I'm pretty sure that's how that's supposed to go. I had difficulties getting it in there though. But there you go. I can't imagine you can hold it in any other hand. That doesn't look right to me. Yeah, it has to go in that hand. I forgot this weapon, the clamps. These are kind of maybe actually the most terrifying weapon in here. I don't want to imagine what the Joker can do with these. I don't know what hand's supposed to hold these. This is not a very good review. Yeah, I'm not sure which hands are supposed to hold these. But they do work, and they are scary. And, like we showed off before, you can put all these weapons in here, and they're protected by foam, and this is the evil briefcase that the Joker carries around with him. How about that? That looks really good. It looks so complete now. And for as crazy as the Joker is, he is very organized, so that's pretty impressive. I quite like that. And it closes, obviously. And now you can just have weapon storage at its finest and at its creepiest. Alright, so at the end of the day, this figure is a lot of fun. It is full of so many options for photography and display purposes, but unfortunately, it doesn't really mean anything to me. Like, don't get me wrong, it's really fun, it's really well executed in a lot of areas, especially those head sculpts and the included accessories as well as all the hands, but it just doesn't resonate with me in a way that other Mezco figures have, like classic comic book characters that have been brought to life, in my opinion. I've never seen this Joker before in a comic book before. This is Mezco's own creation, so I think for that reason, I just don't personally have a strong connection to it. I might not be holding on to it for that long. It might be entering this review and leaving my collection soon after. but I can't say that it's bad. It is a lot of fun. I really kind of like this oddball thing that Mezco has done, so I feel glad to support it and to see what kind of weird ideas they have out there. The quality, as always, was pretty good. I had some issues with the hands, which is a first for me with Mezco, but everything else seemed to work fine, and the details and everything is why I keep coming back to this godforsaken line that just has all my money. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, comment, or subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Stay tuned for more content, and with that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.